It is going to be Miramar here for game number 24 of the PEL, day number 1 of week 2. As we get into it, it is going to be these 16 teams here from Europe and CIS representing, looking to find themselves the next chicken dinner. Let's head over to Sims and D-Man for all of the action.
Thank you very much, guys. 24 matches. And, well, still a long way to go.
There is. We're not even halfway through the competition. And honestly, we're in for a wild journey. Obviously, everyone wants to be finishing as close to the top as humanly possible, but there is only 4 teams that can be sent to the FACEIT Global. It's going to be a fantastic event. Obviously, held in London, back on home turf.
So we saw all the adjustments on Erangel. Let's see if we've got any adjustments on Miramar. Of course, the playing path is not the greatest. It will cause a number of changes, actually. Probably won't be too surprised to see someone down at Val del Mar maybe with this sort of playing path rather than maybe up at Campo Militar where, you know, a couple of teams used to go. Rage are actually bailing out. Are they really going to try and challenge Impala maybe? Puerto Paraíso for Navi. G2 have changed, so they've gone further south.
It's quite a strict playing path,
yeah,
which stops any of these northern teams going further afield. Obviously, San Martin, Hacienda, even El Azhar still within reach, but obviously you're going to have to grab a vehicle and maybe you could try and skirt cruise, but again, you've got all these main cities, which leaves the vultures lingering and down in the bottom.
I see. You remember FaZe? Obviously, the game they won was in La Drilla. I see ITC going there. I'm thinking, we did pretty well down there. It wasn't actually too bad an area. Let's go down and loot that place next time.
I mean, to be fair, the circle literally fixated on it. It's a decent circle. Obviously, when you look towards the... I need to stop saying obviously. For some reason, I've got it stuck in my head. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
We could change it to that one. But the circle is pretty much smack bang in the middle of the playing path, so the head of the players will be in there. G2 might be able to get ahead of the game, actually, and potentially reposition themselves more towards the southern edge of that circle and go deeper towards the western bank.
You see, obviously, we're panning into Picado here. This is relatively central. Now, Team Liquid are a team that like to rotate early, but where do they go from here?
You don't really want to stay at Picado for the simple fact that it is surrounded by hillsides, and if the circle does force them out of it into the open, there might be teams lingering on the edges, on the ridge lines, on the hills, and it's the major problem with Miramar. I say major problem, it's not a problem, it's more of an obstacle, is that a lot of teams will get bottlenecked on rotation. It's a very, very harsh rotation map to move around, especially with the vehicles traversing up and down hills. There's always sometimes just a team. A lot of teams don't necessarily have to go instantly for compounds. They can take hilltops and just chill and be comfortable because no one else can really get a hold of them.
Ditches anywhere, really.
Exactly.
There's so many.
You can just set up a point
and
wait for someone to drive by.
So many areas, obviously, with this circle. Centering on one of the main trunk roads, actually, you could say. There's a ton of compounds all along it. We'll see where they go. Red Diamonds, of course, pretty much plumb center. We'll see whether they group up fast enough. A team that is rock bottom right now, way down, is CrowCrowd. Just 62 points, I believe, to their name, which is a long way off the top, which is 177 points currently with ENCE G2. And a team that I think, you know, hashtag Frostbold prediction coming, a team that I believe will be topping the table by the end of the week, and that is Team Liquid.
And I think that's a bold prediction. I think
no, it's just a hashtag Frostbold prediction, which means it's not bold at all. It's an actual blatant, obvious prediction.
Oh, is it some BM? Okay, I didn't hear the BM. Fair play. I mean, they're up in third. They're a team that, look, regardless whether or not they are doing it, they should be doing well. That team, individually, on paper, is incredible. There's some bloody strong fraggers.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been a change. Stop saying obviously. There's been a change up. I need to get this word out of my head. I don't know why.
That's all you needed to say.
It's in my head, and I don't know why I keep saying it, but we'll try and refrain from it. When you see Jempty coming on this roster, we saw it back at GLL, there had to be some changes made. Things weren't going the way the old Liquid played. Maybe there was a breakdown in miscommunication. Maybe it was too aggressive compared to what they used to be playing, and now they're playing a slightly different style. They're still scouting and still going ahead. but we do see them in these 2-2 splits and these 2-2 engagements quite often. It was a detriment last week at some points, but it has paid off the last few games.
And in my opinion, at the time, and I don't think it's really just my opinion, I think there was a lot of people who had the same opinion, that Gemty was one of the best players, and is one of the, still is, but I think actually was the best player in the world at the time that they went for that purchase, that acquisition. However, it came about that he moved from FaZe to Team Liquid. So it was somewhat surprising that it's taken so long to bed in. But now, especially with this environment, I think this is perfect for this team. This is a team that has a team of superstars that now is starting to grow into an actual team. Not just a team of superstars, a team, a world beater team.
I think that's fair to say. But when you have, when you're a player in that stance, it takes a team to project you to that level.
Yeah.
And you know, FaZe Clan was playing off the back of what he did. He was just getting up close and personal and getting stuck into fights, and they were always close behind. So he could entry frag, he could hit a compound and happily take a team. We saw it time and time again. But then he'd have the 3 members backing him up, which allowed him to just be off the reins and kind of do what he wanted, to be honest with you. He has had to calm down a little bit now because of how Liquid play, but you've definitely seen that they're now doing the old point of where he would just go off and crack on and get stuck in the game. They're doing that. Even now in Picado, you mentioned they don't necessarily have to do a huge rotation. They haven't, but they still have moved away from where they were.
And it looks like they're going for the 2-2 for some of the compounds. FaZe Clan, they've gone to the Ladrilla Hill. It worked for them. It was a tried and tested. They picked themselves up a win there. Navi have rotated around. They started in Porto Paraíso. They have come all along around the South Road. They're actually sort of intermingled with G2 at the moment. G2 themselves not having that great a time so far at the start of the week. Of course, had an absolute blinder last week, so a little harsh to criticize them this early on because, you know, they've got themselves a pretty big point cushion so far. I am seeing TSM and NIP. TSM rotating. NIP is so late to leave San Martin. TSM, I think, are going to be a little surprised to see them still here.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. I think they'll get a shocker if NIP decide to raise their heads. Joker's going for the long rotation. Again, agreeing with the desk what Martin mentioned. They are deserving of a win, and we've seen them last week performing outstanding. Especially Senna with the snipe and Kemba.
And Miramar is their map, right?
Yeah,
this is the map they perform the best on. Every time, if you look back at the points, that 8-point day they had, which was a real shocker of a day, was on triple.
Navi again.
Oh, Recrent found out by Kane there. We're talking G2. We knew they were mingling. That was down south.
That's what I called for earlier on, where G2 going for the deeper rotation.
Yeah.
They've moved more towards the west to take higher height control, to be honest with you. Those hillsides give you a really good advantage to be able to night line of sight. Navi fallen into the trap, and they've already lost one.
And they might lose another one here. Chris is taking pot shots at him as well from up on high. You can see him down there, but they will be safe inside the buildings for now. I say for now because we'll see where the circle does decide to traverse to. But yeah, going back to the Jokers, you know, their big days have all come on triple Miramar maps, and their bad days have come in Erangel. And that's obviously something they need to work on going through the season, but that card's popping in and out all over the shop at the moment. NIP still continuing to move down. They're in Picado at the moment. TSM just to the north. Razor Edge sitting on the edge along with ENCE. They're just north of Los Leones and south of Los Leones. Everybody inside the first phase.
If that circle goes central, it'll be quite quiet. We'll have to just see everybody maybe going for an entry frag, maybe going for a sneak peek or pick. If it does hard shift up to the north, this will be one fun game. Well, for us to watch and maybe people at home, because there'll be so much fun. Saying that, actually, there's still quite a lot of that circle. If it did shift north, it would keep a lot of people down in the south.
DA have got a really weird spread, like, because Kumisera is kind of in there, so I guess they got that safety that it's Kumisera, right? Because nobody really goes to the cities, but Kumisera is one of those cities you kind of can, because it's a triple-tiered city. You actually do have relatively decent sight lines, but you can see that Sixmo's way over here, beautiful death sort of there, and the other two, Mert and Iro, off to the right-hand side. It's a bit of a strange spread. See how it condenses. Oh, my God.
Dearie me.
That's a hard shift to the west.
Dearie me. And remember, when you go further, deeper into the west, you've got the cliff face, which denies any kind of level that people can rotate into. So you're missing about 25% of your map there.
The buffer here is obviously FaZe Clan are happy. They're on the hill of that driller. The problem is that all these teams on the east have to move west. Now, if someone stops, it's going to cause a pile-up. And suddenly everyone's getting condensed, everyone's going to get caught out, and we're going to see people getting wiped out in some very early rotations here.
A couple of shots from TSM in the distance, and also FaZe Clan have put Knights on red alert, but unfortunately Real's team captain was knocked by Drayden in the vehicle, potentially pulling up their Vitality. They've got a foothold in the map, but they need to be very aware of Liquid's presence. Liquid are in the vehicles, and they're going to be rather late to this one. A beautiful death will take out Brexico. Chris falls as well. Brexico stolen, and so is Chris. Navi grabs 2 from the hands of Digital Athletics.
Oh, you can't let them slip when you're fighting for points as they are. And Navi just had a decent round, second place, 7 kills in the last one. A lot of them were steals in that as well. Samty down low, he's in all sorts of trouble as Nasus picks apart his vehicle. Best lock up on the hillside, trying to find what they can. The teams that are in good spots right now is Jokers, Winstrike, FaZe, and Pittsburgh Knights, with Red Diamonds trying to pick off everyone. Look at this spread from Red Diamonds across this hillside.
TSM are going to be laughing. They've rotated, or re-rotated, repositioned into Monte Nuevo. They might get hit by the Knights. Need to be careful. Oh, he hit the wall and killed himself and killed his teammate as well. Press F in the chat immediately.
Well,
you can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
Even if you're pulling up, you can't do that.
Monkey. Oh, he's very low. Just get out.
It's smoking, boys.
Like, I'm out. Monkey's still low, and there's still fire coming in towards them. Jazz is laying down as much cover as they can, though. But NIP up in the hillside.
Oh, they're getting aggressive.
The ones doing the damage. Yeah.
If Morocco's coming this way with a grenade in hand, maybe he wants to get involved. We'll try and keep an eye on that kill feed. Did he bash the wall? Yeah. Actually, he might not have done. There was a little ridgeline which might have bounced the vehicle. Anyway, MBS, up and over we go. Kobe incoming. Vitality, and it's a bloody good job they run as well. That would have banged both of them.
And he managed to get the heel off at least. Monkey will be getting out alive with his life, so he should be safe into the compounds. North of them is Team Liquid as well. NIP still pushing into the back of the circle. Razor Edge kicking a wide northern rotation around north of Power Grid, by the way. M19 also coming in that side. We'll see how they collect themselves up. You can see Winstrike and Jokers in a similar situation, actually. If you remember this circle, this was the one that FaZe Clan won on that hill in the distance, and Jokers were the team that they fought, and they're on the exact same spot as well. So both these teams with similar mentality. TSM have stole the march. The entirety. If you were to look at the map, you can cut this circle in half by a single road, and TSM are the only ones over that side of the road.
And more importantly is the fact that that road is basically a ditch either side.
Yeah.
There's a huge hill line. No one's going to be driving through it. And honestly, with this circle, if this swings left or right, this could really cause all kinds of... Okay,
it's gone there again.
There's a little bit more north. TSM currently, and fans around the world are absolutely laughing. Raise Your Edge might get a little bit lucky here. There's a couple of compounds that might even push themselves into back of Monte Nuevo. M19 might see them and cop for them on the rotation. Team Liquid, however, also need to be careful. They're rotating extremely early, but there's also teams that are rotating extremely late, which they may crash into in the northern edge of the circle.
I think they're going to swing down into that warehouse that Pittsburgh Knights have just abandoned. No, they're going Monte Nuevo side, so as you mentioned, they could well run into a number of teams. Down the southeast, though, it is very congested. NIP took into take a quick road rotate, maybe try and swing further north. It's going to get very congested actually behind the back of TSM. That's where teams are now looking, which is the right route. Digital Athletics, so taking a direct route. The bus. James, you're missing the bus. And he may well cost him, and he's going to find one of his own. Should be able to heal himself up there. That's M19 from up on the hillside. Yeah, taking the tires out. James is going to be left alone to try and cover off. I think Samty's going to come back and try and help him out. NIP swinging north, actually in towards M19, and Navi ascending it.
Ducking, diving, weaving, whatever they can do to try and stay alive. But as soon as they approach this wall, Gustav's going to be in the welcome wagon, AKM in hand. The rest of TSM are actually not with him. He's a one-man band here, holding the front line. So he might have to retreat from this one because all of Navi are knocking at the door. Yeah,
he's backing away. And wise choice there from Gustav. Play the numbers game.
Yep.
No need to take a fight. It is still only the third phase, so no reason to just go gung-ho into
it. His presence in itself is more than enough. He doesn't need to engage us. He just needs to keep them at bay.
NIP, they're coming across. James did manage to get out alive, by the way. You can see the rest of Team Liquid here. NIP, ooh.
That's not a nice... Oh, he's just picking him up.
Okay, it's just collection point.
I thought we were going to stop there.
Your Uber driver has arrived, and off he goes to your desired location, and that is into the other side of Monty Nuevo.
No, they've got it stuck. He just clipped the edge there. He tried... Oh, he should have kept going. I mean, he tried to, but he clipped the edge, so they thought, right, stuff it. We're out, boys. Get on foot. All 4 up, though. Good work and good job to recover from that one, to be honest with you. Maybe a poor performance from M19. They could have put a lot more pressure onto NIP, and now you can see behind all the rusty walls and all the barbed wire in the world, it's going to be a fight on 2 fronts here.
Vitality coming over the hillside, ENCE down low. You can see red diamonds in the distance as well. Meanwhile, oh, hello, that's actually ENCE. They got caught there. Digital Athletics just off the left-hand side of your screen is where that nade just came from Mert.
Dead.
And, oh, Winstrike are pushing onto the back of DA. They're completely unaware of it, I think, as well. So everybody just about creeping inside. G2 coming behind the Jokers, way down. They've had a big rotate.
Thankfully, there's only 2 members of the Jokers there, Senna and Kemba. It's your 2 stronger ones.
Nuevo.
Yoink! Up it goes.
NIP, what a move. They've just made 8. Getting in towards there. That's going to work out. Winstrike, we said they were coming up behind Digital Athletics. They were trying to get involved with this fight on the down low onto ENCE. They were trying to pot shot onto them. But the problem is, as soon as you take those shots, there's so many little ridges and valleys that someone can just be on you before you even know it. And Dimit has done himself some work there, getting Merton 6-mo down.
There's only one of them alive here. That's going to be Ira. Tixu. Hyper-aggressive. I like the play.
Can't peek too much, so Red Diamond's taking shots on him.
Kick him while he's down. You've got to do it. Don't let him get the res off. He'll come around this corner and see the healer. If not, at least see Ira. Catches his face. Goes for the lean. The hard peek's there, but the engagement comes back. 6-mo. Gets the med. Stands up. The support is real.
Oh, Vitality crashing onto Team Liquid. We're not seeing it. You can see they've just dashed around in it as badly. Gone wrong there. FaZe Clan, meanwhile, trying to get involved. They get Dimmy down as well. Catch him around the side as Ira tries to make a push along the side there. There's ENCE down low. They're taking shots onto Red Diamonds, but it's Team Liquid and Vitality clashing in the warehouse. TSM moving the way back round. Razor Edger made a big rotate around to Monty Nuevo as well.
As you can imagine, it's going to get a little bit messy, so keep an eye on the kill feed. You'll be able to try and run it through who's down, who's dead, who's still fighting on and clinging for survival. Rory's knocked, and this is the fight between the Jokers and TSM. Nasus knocking at the door. There's James. James gets a shot off, and all of a sudden, Vitality. That's not the position that they needed.
Cheeky steal there from Alf Plays, from CrowCrowd. They need all the points they can. TSM now engaging on the hills. They got downed. 2 members down, by the way. That's Rory and Michael downed at the moment on the hillside. And Gustav, I think, is going to be the last man standing for TSM. TSM who held such a strong point. Mikas putting work on Senpai there. He has lost Squeaky earlier on to Red Diamond, so he wants to try and get a bit of revenge.
Be able to feed him the information. Red Diamonds will know where Mikas is a nice maneuver from him. Move to the right-hand side. They won't expect this one. They might be able to come around the corner and flush them. That's 1, 2, maybe even 3 members of TSM I've seen. I saw Wookie Bookie get knocked earlier on. Whether he's down and dead's a completely different story. Is it just Gustav?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want one man standing on that team, it has to be Gustav. He can take fights on himself, but they were, you got to remember, Lee, they were central circle.
That's what I say. They had prime position, and Jokers just came around, and they got sandwiched between Jokers and NIP. And it is the danger. We see it so many times. You get wedged. Well, they were split 2-2. Remember, they had to back away from Navi and kind of lost the position they were really looking for. Rustamar, well, he's in trouble. That's not an enviable rush I would like to see going down that hill. He wants to get to that shack in the distance, but my word, has he got a bit of good distance to cover. FaZe, they stole the kill on Ira as they get themselves one, but FaZe are now in a tricky spot. They have to push onto the Knights, I think. Oh, Diamonds and ENCE.
Diamonds and ENCE might be the one to next unfold. Diamonds will probably try and play it passive, to be honest with you, and go for survival, use the meds, then come out the blue. ENCE are in a difficult position because of the hillside that they're on, even from across the road. Knights, FaZe, Liquid, even CrowCrowd. 4 teams can put them in the crossfire. Rustam Map, that's the initial one to go down. While all this is going on, by the way, just so you know, FaZe are creeping up slowly but surely on the Knights.
Yeah, and Razor Edge have actually snuck in the back door behind NIP as well. But yeah, FaZe Clan onto the Knights is going to be the next fight as the circle pretty much centers in. You can see Kramer is getting lit up at the moment. 80 taking shots towards him. You'll have it on your screen. There
Big
we go.
fight, this
Voxing,
one.
he's got himself lined up. FaZe, he goes for that peek. Is going to get lit up, and he does. And Fuzzy's down. Now he looks towards Mexi. Mexi trying to go for that nade. Voxing doing work with his Scar.
Goes for the tap fire, needs to back off for that one, close the door and says, nope, we're not taking any part of that.
He wants to confirm it.
It's nice to see him resetting the reticle. Best to lock, though, from a distance. Smashes Mexi in the face. Uber answers back onto a doozy. Red Diamond's playing off the blue. Can Best to lock get the heal off? Yes, he can. This is a feels bad, man. They're literally killing them from outside of the blue. It's unlucky because they're arriving late to the game. But for FaZe Clan, they've just been punched in the back.
Yeah, best lock. It's the 5th circle, so it should take him down. There he goes. So now FaZe are safe, but they've lost 2 players in the process. FaZe and Mexi down. Real's trying to make the push. That is an open push. ENCE should have landed that shot. Can't manage to get it, and now Uber down as well, and the Knights are ripping FaZe apart.
ENCE will get 1. They've got 4 points on the board. Probably wants to try and make this 5. Kramer wants to say no. Save his team captain. Up and over the hill he goes. And bye-bye FaZe Clan once again. Another bottom tier position.
Yeah, 11th again. I think it's been 11th, 10th, and 11th for them. They got
I mean,
third
it kind
in
of
the first
sucks,
game.
right, when you've been shot from the blue by a team coming late game. It's something you kind of have to...
But they knew they were on the hill. They were both on that hill for a long time.
It just sucks to see, doesn't it, when you've... And again, but what could they do? They were playing with the best that they had, and they're collecting as many points as you can. You've got to just do whatever you can, right?
Yeah. They tried to go for the push, and Red Diamonds tried to benefit from it, and it worked out well for them. Now, of course, let's look at the positions of the teams. You can see TSM. Oh, Gustav still going, still alive and kicking the solo player. Navi and Jokers, they're clashing on the southeast side. Meanwhile, Kate from G2 is trying to sneak around. Udir has been down. I think Gaxi will confirm that kill, so that's going to leave Kate, the last man standing for G2 too.
M19 have been making a little bit of a slow push more towards the center of Monte Nuevo. They kind of anticipate this circle maybe moving against them. Fast rail, time and time again, we see him with that M24. Udir goes down to the circle. Gaxi, he falls victim to that Raise Your Edge 762.
I think Raise Your Edge were trying to make a move on that one, but Joker's taking shots on them from up on the left side of us here on the screen. You're looking at, you can see the Tracer coming down towards Fast rail. So they tried to move on the knock, but yeah, denied instantly.
I mean, they've got, this is the thing, you'd usually think, well, it's quite an open ground here. We can't really do much, but for the simple fact of the amount of terrain in front of them, they should be able to do it. That's a rough shift. The Knights are absolutely laughing.
And so are the Jokers. You know, this is a strong map for the Jokers. Navi down low should be safe. Gustav, by the way, is loving life right now. He's still inside the circle. Magister trying to sneak in along with Alf plays.
That is a hard shift and a half.
Team Liquid are going to have a nice ridgeline as well. They're going to be the biggest threat to the Knights that are down south. But, you know, Knights have had to fight for this position. They've wiped out FaZe Clan. Kane, look at him living the blue life right now, but he's going to have to move. The Joker's still looking for him.
The Knights could be very smart about this one. They have a building further in front of them they might be able to edge themselves into. Yep, they're actually putting Drayden up there front, put the big man on the head, be able to see any oncoming players.
Oh, Kramer's found Jempty down low.
Cover fire will come in from the Jokers as they fly the vehicles through and make an advancement over by the cylinders up on the main top ridge. Kramer might be able to get an eye line on Jempty if he does just
He's took a couple of
sneak his way
shots
out here.
and collected him, yeah. Managed to heal up though, Jempty, so he's backed away there as D-Mash takes shots. Now, NIP distracted here. They're trying to move towards the hillside. And Rage Your Edge is sneaking in behind them while the Jokers continue to try and lay down this fire.
This will actually pay off at Raise Your Edge and allow them to get themselves maybe even into the circle if they hit NIP while they're in another engagement. However, NIP are already set up in buildings looking outside the windows here, so Raise Your Edge might just fall on the sword.
If they get caught up too long, M19 are going to steal it. You can see the Wanderer's already in position. He's going to get around there. Constantine's going to steal the kills away here. Alf plays down. Last man standing will be CrowCrowd's Magister, and he drops. Fast Rail caught out. That's the knock they were looking for. Fast Rail, that M24 is going to be no use. He's going to bleed out. There's nothing Raise Your Edge can do to help him there at the moment. Trying to smoke him out, trying to get him back on his feet. Ibi caught out by M19 as they move onto the hill on the left-hand side.
Depends how much cover they have over there, though. I would have thought that the topography of the map allows him to get them back up, especially if they've got smokes. Big Jimbo will put himself up in a position so he can put down some cover and fire and just be a nuisance. But again, M19 will have them on the hard angle.
NIP have turned on them. Cup of Magic down by the nade.
they're
Tabok's
falling.
caught wanted at the exact same time. And NIP just waited for their moment to pounce. It's just wanted
What do you
standing.
do?
Snark gets caught out. Raise Your Edge go down in 9th place.
And that's where you've got to go away and take a look at how preemptive you could have played that. Would it be more beneficial to reposition yourself, come in at a different angle, maybe play more aggressive? That's when you're playing always edge and you're a slow team, you're always playing on the back foot, and that is always a possibility. Raise Your Edge like to play late game, and sometimes it just don't work, in my opinion. I mean, for some it does, yeah, but you're always going to be under the hammer when you get these kind of circles and you come late game.
NIP able to sneak in there.
Ooh, wait.
If he's got a nade, he could absolutely smash Jokers here in 1, which I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, he has a nade. I can see it in the minimap there in the bottom corner there.
M19 are actually be in front here
Jokers.
of NIP. NIP have got to go through like that main circular area.
M19 have just made a great move into that compound. And you can see the circle. Gustav sitting pretty. He is probably top 5, maybe top 3 right now. Just by the fact he's in that single house that nobody's gone near.
Wait, Kent's getting aggressive here? I'm a big fan.
He's got a nade. Just took the nade.
Tab's down, so at least he's picked up a point.
He's going to 1. Tab's going to bleed out from this one. You can see NIP are smashing them. Team Liquid getting on towards them. Tab, Senya, all going down. They're trying to do what they can. The Knights are going to have an angle in a moment as well. As Pokemon going up the hill.
I mean, what do you do if you Jokers? You're literally on it. Oh, okay, well, you throw it off the map, and unfortunately you die, just like that. NIP see the bike, just come over the edge, and unfortunately gets bodied in midair.
I mean, I guess they maybe thought there was more behind them than there was. I don't know, but either way. Na'Vi down low in the smoke, trying to sit and wait, but you can see the Knights, they have themselves an angle. Just catch a glimpse of the shadow. Oh, Sadovnik, as soon as you show yourself out of that smoke, he's going to go
Straight
down.
to the head.
NIP and M19 now pushing out as well. That's up in towards the top side or south side of Monte Nuevo.
It hits him in the head again? Back-to-back reels. You little beast. Smashes Na'Vi apart. You know there's going to be one man standing somewhere in the distance. Where's that last Na'Vi player? It's Pokemon just hiding in the crevice of the hillside.
Enoch down and he's back in the building, which means M19 are going to lose him. I don't think they're going to go back and try and get him back on his feet as Kane tries to make a run down a hill. Miracle will find him. It's a 7th place for G2. TSM are going to be delighted with that one as Team Liquid look to try and take control of this hill. They're pushing. They saw Kramer down. I wonder if they're going to try and finish this one. They're going looking for it.
They're splitting a 2-2 position. They leave Samty on the back foot. Jempty's now going to re-rotate and move to his teammates. They've been spotted. That's the most important key. Reels is going to call this one out. However, they're going to be in a crossfire. Smokes are up. There might not be a lot. Oh my, that circle. All the teams have to show their cards now,
Yeah.
Lee. They all, M19, NIP, TSM, everyone has to come out and move across the road.
M19 can try and make a dash for this one, but NIP is going to pop them in the back. You can see
There's
Team Liquid
nothing.
up on high. There's this little ditch where Samt is holding right now. That's the only M19's really best chance to go for it, but NIP are going to try and play the advantage and move early. They're taking shots down to the Knights at the moment. They don't have a great deal of smokes left. Vard down by Gustav. Gustav pops out of his house and says, hello, don't forget about me. TSM still rocking it in 6th.
And more importantly, for M19, that holds NIP back. They have to get the heel off now and get themselves low ball, cooked.
Oh, Gaxy's there? Ooh, he took a chunk off him. Gaxy's going to try and pop one back. There's a second one going out. Now he's going to run down the stairs. Where did it go?
Might get him.
Right
Run.
in his back. 12.
There's another one there.
There's a second one. Doesn't manage to get away. Gets out of there. And he's in the bathtub. He's safe.
They'll be able to get the first aid off. But they know this player's lingering.
It's going to be an episode of Psycho. The curtain's going to pull back and they're going to be sat waiting, but he's going to peek around. While this is happening, Team Liquid, they've withdrawn a little bit. Miracle! What are you doing?
Okay, well, netting yourself's never going to be a good thing. Because M19 might be able to make an advancement on that. They know where Gustav is now. Grenades up and over. Samty, finally, he's down, he's dead. Gaxy picks him up. Samty across the road, finds M19. Kramer, now onto Jeems. That's a big pick. We know for a fact that the Knights have been struggling for the simple fact they got Liquid
Look at the
constantly above them. So to be able to get a knock like that, that's a big pick.
And NIP pushing out. They are a big threat to Pittsburgh Knights here. They've got the 4 back on their feet, but now NIP, they've got nothing to worry about, nothing on their back. They can take the shots. Phase 9 approaching as Team Liquid get their 4th
angle.
back on their feet. James is going to be revived, so he's now back. No helmet for him, but that's not a worry. The center point it's pretty much no man's land. Team Liquid, do they go aggressive on the back of the Knights?
They're actually pushing it. They're going after Kramer. He's the one holding point here.
Genty's going to be the man flanking around, and NIP now trying to do what they can, but they're all clustered together. And look at this. Drayden's just spraying down into the smoke and catching just about everyone down there. Reels wants to get involved. The nade from Elite Player. It's a molly. It's going to burn Miracu's back. It's going to force him away. They're going to get away from this one. Kramer's trying to pull the nade out. Meanwhile, Jeeps managed to find one. Gaxi gets picked off by Drayden.
The Knights are going to be focused onto NIP. Everybody wants a piece of it. Don't shoot you to him.
Oh,
he hits him in the
FaZe
back.
9. NIP,
Hits
if
him in the
NIP pick
teammate.
for this, Team Liquid are going for it. They're pushing down, they're going straight across, and they see that big knock coming in, the team knock. That's not what you need in Phase 9. There's still smoke. We can see through, but they cannot. You can see VOD and NBS remaining. Still no nades on AB, so you can see he goes for the spray, catches the shadow of VOD.
Now the question is, which team out of the Knights and out of Liquid are reactive here? The Knights are repositioning themselves. All 4 members are flooding uphill.
Jempty's ready for them, though. He's going to come around the side.
That's a good play from
He's going to
Jempty.
try and catch him. Jempty's just holding him up, but Kramer manages to catch him. And now Santi tries to come around. Jempty's flushed out. Ibby finds MBS, and now it's a top 2 battle. 10 kills for Team Liquid. As Ibby's dropped down, he's out the fight.
It's
he's
a
out the fight.
big play from Jempty to do that, because now they have the information that they were getting re-rotated on, but all of a sudden the Knights, they just flood. It comes down to Jim to hold the line. What can he do?
Can't do anything.
Absolutely nothing. The Knights in a 4-man stack. Ibby, last man standing.
Yeah, that drop down, you can see he wanted to get around a flank, but it's just too fast. The Knights moved in a beautiful 4-man notion coming out of the smoke. Real spins on a dime and finds him. Team Liquid, second place for them. I think it was 10 kills, but it's the Pittsburgh Knights that pick up the chicken dinner win. And boy, did they have to fight for it. They took down Liquid. They took down FaZe Clan. They took down everyone.
So it was the question that I were going to raise, or at least try to raise, in all that madness, to be honest. NIP were down in smoke. Which team wanted those 2 points over the win? If you committed to NIP in the smoke, then you have to focus fire on them, wait for the smokes to dissipate, or wait for the players to pretty much get out of it and mow them down. There's only a couple of points in them compared to the win. The Knights, the IGL